Close your eyes and visualize inserting the disc into your Wii. With the Wiimote and nunchuck in hand, on the Wii's home menu, you slide your pointer over Twilight Princess. After selecting to start the game, the standard Wii instructions and logo appear one after the other, and then a cutscene commences. It first starts with a dark screen fading out to Link on top of Epona in front of a ruined stone bridge. Quiet sounds of Epona blowing out air through her nose, her hooves against the ruined concrete floor. And once it settles, Link starts to gallop away. Once entering the bridge, the music starts to build. We get a shot of Link and Epona riding through the bridge with a beautiful sunset cast upon them. We then transition to a field with a huge sunset and a Hyrule castle in the background. Link enters from the right of the screen, riding through the field with Epona on his side. We then transition to a shot of the edge of the field, where Link decides to ride really close, but it does look pretty cool, so we're gonna let that slide. Transitioning to another shot of Link riding fiercely towards the camera, for then the camera to shift away from him, showing the mountains in the background, to then shift back to Link, howling towards what looks like an imprisoned Hyrule Castle. What a fucking cutscene. The music that accompanies these scenes suit what the whole game is going to be about. It sets the perfect atmosphere. The music feels like something memorable, something hopeful. But you also get those dark tones in the notes, which shifted to a really gloomy perspective. It's like trying to convey the feeling of light of hope shining brightly in a land covered in twilight and despair. No matter what, there is hope for a better future. Also, I gotta mention towards the end when the music finally builds up and it's just him in wolf form just howling. It's just perfect, chef's kiss. But honestly, no, OOT's intro still my favorite. Anyways, I also mentioned Epona during the beginning cutscene, which shouldn't make sense, right? But I'm pretty sure they're not the same. I'm thinking Link's family just decided to keep the name to respect the original. Besides that fact, we pick our save file slot, name our character, our horse, and we start our adventure. Wait, what is this? Where am I? It's not Zelda?
Hey, you're finally awake.
Huh? The first thing we see is a little cutscene at a beautiful looking spring. As the camera pans down, we are shown two males sitting down at the edge, just chilling. No fucking worries at all. One of them appears to be an adult, while the other is just a teenager. They start talking to each other, and the adult starts bringing up some heavy shit. He tells Link, and I quote, "Tell me, do you ever feel a strange sadness as dusk falls? They say it's the only time when our world intersects with theirs. The only time we can feel the lingering regrets of spirits who have left our world. That is why loneliness always pervades the hour of twilight."
Wow, man. Damn.
Damn. Well, if you didn't get all of that, hey, that's why you got me. If you ever felt sadness at night, which I feel like most people have, I feel like emotions are easier at night, right? I know for us boys, we love to have a mental change at like 3 a.m. saying, yo, we're gonna do this and that, blah, blah, blah. But when morning comes, we're back to the same shit again. Some people change, some people don't. Depends. Anyways, the game takes this concept and makes a little story out of it. So, if you ever feel an overwhelming feeling of sadness, it's probably ghost spouting nonsense into your ear. Or you have depression. Also, if you haven't noticed, there is no music playing at all during this cutscene. It's just sounds of flowing water, birds chirping in the background. This beginning cutscene is crucial to show a land thriving with peace. Everyone is happy. It almost feels like a dream, like there is nothing in the world to worry about. This is what we may call a hooker. Wait, no, not that type of hooker, like a hook grabbing the consumer's attention. It draws you into the world, making you settle in, letting you relax yourself, for maybe soon the worst may come. Type shit. Besides all that though, let's get back on track. Our camera cuts to an adult male showing his face. I'm not really sure if his name even comes up in the beginning, which is pretty weird, but it's really not something mysterious, so his name is Russell. As he is yapping, the camera cuts and shows the teenager, which ends up being our protagonist, Link. Continuing the conversation, Russell asks Link if he could run a favor and deliver something to Hyrule Castle the day after tomorrow. Link agrees and they both stand up and exit the spring. Now the music starts and it's so calming. Listening to it while our characters walk back to the village, past a long wooden bridge and another arguably more beautiful spring, it adds another element to show how peaceful these villagers' lives are. After dropping Link and Epona off to their fucking amazing treehouse, I mean, look at this! Look at this! I want a treehouse. The man heads back home with his family for the day. Link's treehouse is located just outside the village. Also, from now on, when I'm referring to Link, I will say we, because now we control the character. So, in some sense, I'm trying to say that Link is us. Continuing the next morning, a mysterious young woman takes Epona, and somehow Epona goes without questioning? Is she someone we know? We'll see. Regardless, a man runs towards the treehouse and yells out our name. Hey!
Hey! A man is being fucked.
We appear out our window and the man asks us if we could herd goats for him at his ranch. We go down and out our treehouse and we find our horse missing. Swiftly, we dash towards the path we saw during the cutscene. Following a linear path, we come upon a spring we saw earlier during the past cutscene, and we see the girl with Epona. As we approach her, a beautiful OST starts to play with a little hint of romance, while a short cutscene starts. The girl, named Ilya, explains that she took Epona for a little wash to treat him. Well, we do seem fine with it, so I guess we're friends and shit, but like, can you at least ask me next time? Anyways, after that cutscene, we run over to her to talk, and she asks if we could use a piece of grass to play a song for her. Luckily, this piece of grass is right behind us and it looks like a generic flower stem with a horseshoe as its bud. Can't explain that one any better. But strangely, when we use it, Epona rushes towards us. This serves as a little tutorial on how to call your horse when you need him. Ilya approves of our musical talent and lets us go with Epona but urges us to take care of him. Okay, bye bye. We hop on Epona and we gallop back the way we came from. Past the treehouse and through the other path open to us. This is Ordon village of the Ordana province. Huh? Not in Hyrule? Yeah, this part of the game actually does not take place in Hyrule province. The Ordana province is actually south of Hyrule, but Twilight Princess and Link's crossbow training are the only games we get to see Ordana. Regardless, this place is incredibly calm and laid back. It is really a farming village and each person plays their role to keep everything going. The music that plays when entering is a vibe and just so carefree. It's like lay back, grab that iced tea or sweet tea for you Americans. And watch the sun go down every day after a long hard day's work on the farm. Besides that, our goal is to head to the ranch to herd them goats, but on the way we stop to talk to some people. The first we talk to are a family of 3, a scrawny, fearful husband named Hunch, a prideful Karen wife who thinks she deserves all the good things named Sarah, and a daughter who takes after the mom named Beth. Regardless of those traits, the wife and daughter are still very nice people. Sarah asks us if we're going to the ranch and we nod in agreement. Not caring for our time, she continues to talk to us about a problem. In summary, Sarah owns a shop and there was a robbery not too long ago caused by monkeys who have been causing ruckus around the neighborhood. Sarah and Beth start to berate Hunch for not doing a better job defending their shop. Sadly, we speak no words, like literally we can't talk. The wife finally notices us in a hurry and lets us go. I kinda feel bad for the man, but honestly that's the woman he decided to settle with, so that's his problem. I'm honestly wondering how he managed to knock her up in the first place. Whatever. Forging on ahead, we meet another family of 3, and it's Russell's. He tells us his son Colin is making a fishing rod for us. Fuck yeah! And it will be ready for us tomorrow. Talking to Colin, he pretty much says the same thing. So, continuing ahead, we finally talk to the last person, a very big man named Poe. I mean Bo. B-O. Who is actually the mayor of Ordon and father to Ilya. Don't forget that one. Now, he is the mayor, so he should have something important to tell us, right? Yeah, nah, just asking if we're heading to the ranch. But he also mentions the ranch owner's name, which is Fado, so not completely useless.
What's up, brother?
As we entered the ranch, Fado gets us right to work before the sun sets by making us play a little mini game. The goal is to herd all the goats running around into the pen. Sounds simple, but can get frustrating very quickly. A lot of people tend to find this part very painful to the soul, and to put the cherry on the top, we'll have to do this again in the future. For now, let's offer some little tips to help out. First, go slowly. There's no need to rush on this one. Second, slowly move side to side to move the goats as a group. If one manages to get away, leave that bitch. Get it later. Lastly, the best thing is that you don't have to lead them straight to the door. If you angle it just right, they'll run inside by themselves. After we finish, Fado thanks us and asks if we want to put up fences to jump around with Epona. We say fuck yeah, and he sets up the fences to make a little course. We can stay here indefinitely, but we leave to head home for the day.
We would like to play. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, only for Wii. Rated teen.
Morning suddenly comes and we are wakened by 3 kids asking us to come down. Now finally we get to see what our treehouse looks like from the inside, and it looks super! Everything is very organized and neatly placed. We are living well. We also have a basement, but it's extremely dark, so we'll come here later when we got some light. So let's get out of here. It's kinda creepy. You never know what's gonna be down here. After exiting our home, we approached the three kids. The attitude girl from yesterday named Beth, a hyper boy with a red bandana named Tallow, and a terrifying baby creature alien named Mallow. Yes, I stated, I am 100% sure that this baby is pure evil scheming all of our demise. Most likely a demon sent from hell to torture our souls but got stuck in a cute fucking baby. They inform us about a slingshot being sold at Sarah's shop. Mallow then immediately replies with, I can't wait to try it. Well, guess what? You can't! You're a baby! Can't you see? The evidence is all there. Boing boing, what do you think? Well, shit, sorry about that. I might have let him hit it too much, if you know what I mean. Anyways, Beth explains to them that they can't simply just take it, they have to buy it, which enrages both Tallow and Mallow. Overhearing all of this, we spring into action to buy that slingshot, thus beginning a little sequence of quests. Now, before we continue, I want to address this part of the game. People usually call it the chores of the game, and this trend continues into future games. These chores are things Link need to do in the beginning of the game to progress to the actual meat of the game. They tend to be long and tedious, but it's complained more on TP due to the fact it takes a long time to get to the first dungeon. So I understand the problem, but it's seriously not that bad. I think people who complain are impatient. Just play the game. Through a story perspective, we are world building. This beginning part of TP is showing you how Link's life is. These chores are probably a normal occurrence for him. Maybe not the same every time, but he lives an ordinary farmer's life. That's what TP is trying to show you. It's not mindless fighting till the dungeon where then you can have some fun. No, you are Link. Immerse yourself into single player games and you'll see how much love and effort the creators put into it. Yeah, some games don't need this level of attention from us, but in my opinion, putting yourself into your character's shoes, expressing yourself through dialogue, these are what make games enjoyable. The life Link lives is incredibly slow and relaxing, but that's what makes the drastic turn in events later in the story that much impactful. Anyways, going back to what the three kids wanted, our goal is to collect rupees, which is the currency for this world. To find them, you can run through or slash grass, lift rocks, throw breakables, and swim. So we do just that, collecting everything around our house. We spot Collins. We run up to talk to her and she explains that the fishing rod she was working on is finished, but it's at her house. She adds on her mom should help us out with that. Putting that on our goal list, we continue collecting rupees. Heading into Ordon village, we meet Hunch. He talks about his wife asking him to restock the shop, but he weak as fuck. So he shows us a beehive and teaches us how to look at it on our own, using whatever controller we have. The honey in that beehive is what Hunch really wants. He also mentions that his wife's cat has not come home for a day and is making her worried. Another reason for Hunch to not come home empty-handed. Feeling bad for the guy, we add another 2 tasks to our list. Find a way to destroy that beehive for the honey and find that cat. Moving on, another man on a higher ledge calls out our name. Weirdly, he looking like Sketch, his name is actually Jaggle. and is the dad of both Tallow and the demon. He teaches us how to target an object and tells us to target him to talk. We do so, and proudly he asks us to climb up the vines below him. Meeting Sketch at the top, he shows us the missing cat looking for a fish to eat by the river that splits the village. But besides that, he points our eyes towards some funny looking grass. We hop over to it and pick it off the ground. Turns out it's just like the horse grass, but instead a hawk appears on our arm. Don't know the origin of this hawk, don't know who it belongs to, but regardless, it's pretty fucking cool. The flower also has the same design as the horse, but with a bird figure at the top. We use this to take down the hive that's been bothering Hatch. Successfully, the hive drops and breaks, leaving fresh honey ready to be grabbed. Goal complete. Ignoring that for now, we finally spot Colin's mom, Uli. Running up to her, we notice her extremely troubled. She greets us and asks if we're here for the rod. We nod in agreement, and turns out Uli is in need of help as well. She somehow managed to lose the cradle for her baby, and she can't go back to her house without it. So to get the rod, we gotta get the cradle. Quest accepted. Luckily, we saw a cradle with a monkey by Jaggle. First, we head to Hunch, and he's surprised that we used the eagle to take it down. He starts to ponder, why didn't he think of it? Foreshadowing. Letting us go, we loot the spoils from the hive. As we run to the destroyed hive beside a big tree, we notice a vine stretching all the way to the top. We climb it and carefully collect the rupees chilling on some very thin branch. Realistically, who the fuck is putting them up there? Then again, we do find rupees in pumpkins and we don't question that, so honestly, whatever, let's move on. After collecting the rupees, we climb down the big tree and head to the ledge where Jaggle is. We hop past him onto a roof and then a pillar and another after. On the last pillar, we see a monkey jumping up and down with the cradle we need. Picking up some bird grass on the ground beside us, we aim it at the monkey, and with steady aim we manage to get a hold of the cradle from the monkey. Hopping back past the pillars and the roof, we go back to Uli. She's super surprised to see the cradle and gratefully thanks us. She reminds herself of the fishing rod and asks us to accompany her to her home to acquire it. We painfully walk incredibly slow to her house, but it's so annoying. But listen, story perspective, we can't blame her. She's pregnant. Take your time, whatever. After getting to her house, she gives us the fishing rod. Quest complete. Yay. Uli sits down for the day, and we run off with the rod in our hand. It's time for the high thought of the day, featuring ZaCritic's. You know that not every pee is a poo, but every poo is a pee. And that's all. Thank you. See you next time. Equipping the rod, we run over to where the cat is to start fishing. Fishing is really odd in this game, and I feel like it doesn't actually explain how to use it.
Hold the fucking.
That's a huge thing.
No, hold up.
Now, Sam.
Weird. Simply put, once the floater is underwater, just hook. Most of the time you'll have a fish. Catching one puts us in a short cutscene where the cat steals our fish and runs back to Sarah's store. We follow in pursuit and enter the shop. We meet Sarah and she is incredibly happy that her cat is back with a fish. Thinking that the cat did it all by herself, that bitch, she is put in a good mood and gives us a bottle filled with milk on the house. Another goal completed. Only acquiring the slingshot is left. The bottle we just received is extremely useful because not only does it have milk to restore hearts when lost, we can reuse the bottle for other things in the future. We can also get more if we need them, but getting one this early is huge for progression's sake. Talking to her again, we mention we are interested in buying something and she lets us take a look. Selecting the slingshot for sale, we purchased it for 30 rupees. Luckily, it also comes with ammo. If you don't have the rupees by now, there are a bunch to still collect around Ordon Village. Just run around and you'll find that you'll have more than needed. With a slingshot in hand, that's all the goals completed. Congratulations. We exit the shop back to our front yard. As we get there, we encounter Russell. Arms crossed, he tells us we made it back just in time for a little present he left for us in our room. He leaves us with that and says his goodbyes. The groups of kids still waiting for us notices our slingshot as we approach them. They immediately set up targets for us to shoot. This serves as our little tutorial on how to shoot. You can shoot in both first person and third person, but aiming is actually a bit easier in third person because you actually get a small crosshair. After completing the short tutorial, Talos stares in awe while Beth asks what Colin's dad left for us. The Eamon adds on that they want to see it. So we head to our treehouse, shoot the spider on the ladder with our slingshot, climb and enter our house. Colin's dad left it right in front of our door and we open the chest to receive our first weapon of the game, the wooden sword. Kinda gnarly looking with dull sides and a flat tip, but we'll do the job for now. We run outside to show the kids and again set up a little tutorial. But they want us to teach them because of the troublemaker monkey stealing more lately. After showing them our epic skills, the kids are extremely impressed and thanks us for teaching them how to fend off them darn monkeys. Fortunately, the time has come now, thanks to a random monkey appearing out of nowhere. It runs away and the three kids chase after it. Running ahead of us, we follow behind. The music changes to more of a chase type beat from the vibe beat before, suiting what is currently happening. Although we are chasing them down, we see Beth tied to the side of the path. She explains that the others went on ahead, so we continue. Before reaching the long bridge, we are met with the demon spawn. It lets us know that the monkey and Tallow went over the bridge. Onwards, past the bridge is a small open area with a fence blocking the next part. Luckily, there's a patch of horse grass, which we use to call Epona to jump over the fence. Hopping over, we pass by the beautiful waterfall we saw from the beginning cutscene, and through a short tunnel to a fork on the path. One way leads to a cave, while the other leads to an open area, with this rundown house. We hop off at the fork to only get attacked by our first enemy of the game, a Deku Baba. They up the scary scale on them for sure. Still very simple enemies to kill. You could just slash the stem when you have the opportunity, or a little tip, you can use a Deku seed to stun them and just slash. Upon slaying the Deku Baba, we notice a wooden sword on the ground. It's Talos! Not caring about the other way, we dash towards the cave. As we enter the cave, we are met with darkness, but still we purge onwards with sword ready. Going through the cave, we are met with two different types of enemies. First are the bat-like creatures named Keys, again amazing looking, and the Deku Baba we met earlier. At the midpoint of the dark cave, we hit something blocking our way. It's a massive cobweb stretched from all sides to block our way. I fucking hate spiders. Jesus Christ, especially the long legs. Anyways, slashing it with our dull sword doesn't work, so for now we have to leave. But we have the goal of getting rid of it and the information that there are more evils in the cave to discover.
Phew.
Zelda!
Link!
Oh boy, smooching time!
Back at the fork, we take the other path to find a man sitting by a campfire. He greets us and warns us of the horrors of the cave. To combat the darkness, he can help us. He gives us a lantern with oil to use and leaves us be. He's also cooking a bit of soup, which is scoopable with an empty bottle if you drank your milk already, but please don't. The soup is bad, very bad. You actually lose a heart. Don't know how a soup can be that bad. Entering the cave again, we push forward with the lantern. The lantern actually has a cool mechanic to stay out the whole time so it can use both arms for other things. But be careful, make sure you're looking at that meter. Once we get to the cobweb, we use our lantern to burn it all to the ground. Lighting the cave as we go, we are attacked by rats, keys, and more dekubabas. Pots hang from the roof by cobwebs, really giving spider monster vibes. But we have not seen one yet. Very creepy. We managed to escape the cave to a huge open forest area filled with enemies. The first we encounter is a new one named Bobloken. They're really skinny man-like creatures and purple with a chunk of wood as their weapon. They're really the pushover enemies, you can drop kick them, whatever, and they're meant to get you used to the combat of the game. We head northeast and end up in another cave, but this time it is super small. There is one chest and 2 lampposts. After looting the chest, gaining a small key, we use the lantern to light the 2 lampposts, which give a bigger chest. These hard pieces can be found in chests hidden around the world or from minigames. If you collect 8, you'll get a hard container, which will give you 1 HP, 1 heart, whatever you want to call it, up to you. I will not be going over all of them, but I will be collecting all of them. Exiting the small cave, we fight our way to the northeast to find a locked gate. We use the key we got earlier and head on through to fight 3 more enemies waiting for us. The next area we are in is a beautiful sight to witness, with a ramp leading to a huge tree. After slaying the last enemy, a bird running a shop talks to us. He is quite impressed with the skills we have and offers us to buy something at his potion shop. But we'll skip that for now since we already have a full bottle of milk. But he will be important in the future. Running up the ramp, we see Tallow and the monkey trapped in a cage by Boblikins. We take out the 2 Boblikins guarding their prisoners, and using our shit stick, we smash the wooden cage. We then get a cutscene back at the fork, way back. Walking back to the village with Tallow, he stops us for a talk. He thanks us for saving him and warms up to the monkeys probably being misunderstood. He adds on not to tell his dad what happened today and proceeds to run ahead to the village. Don't worry, man, we ain't no snitch.
Yo, we fucking got 6ix9ine here, yo!
Hey, I'm a rat. I ain't no snitch.
Coming from the Lantern Guy's pathway is Russell. He heard about the problem from Collins and rushed over. Well, promise is broken anyways. Regardless, Russell is satisfied knowing we handled it already and is happy that he gave us the task to go to Hyrule for the delivery. We could even meet Princess Zelda. Together we go back to the village, and then we cut to a cutscene of us chilling back at Orton Ranch, relaxing on a hot sunny day. Otto calls on us and asks to round up goats. We do so again with Epona, and he sets up fences to practice jumping. After practicing a little bit, we jump over to the exit before we get late for our delivery. Back at Ordon Village, we are stopped by Ilya and Mayor Bo. Well, turns out Ilya is the daughter of Mayor Bo. I guess she got the looks from her mother. We get off the horse and Mayor Bo takes us to the side to talk about the job to Hyrule. While we are talking, Ilya comforts Epona, wishing her safe travels, but then she notices Epona injured. Angrily, she yells at us for not taking care of Epona, forcing her to do too much work and then jump fences. She gets so frustrated she just rushes away with Epona to the springs. Mayor Bo suggests we go talk to her because we're gonna need that horse. But then all of a sudden a ghost starts running down from a ranch. We are the only ones who are perfect to intercept it, and we perfectly do so by throwing him to the side. Feeling defeated, the goat walks back to the farm, but not after a little path. Mayor both thanks us and we rush to the springs to get Epona back. Through our front yard, it's infested by children. Colin approaches us immediately and asks us to talk to Tallow and Mallow. Since Colin snitched on them, they're sorta bullying him. We approach them with Colin following behind us and they blaster Colin for ratting them out. In addition, they say if we are looking for Ilya, we can go past them. Tallow, interested in our wooden sword, asked if we could trade it. With that, we let him have our wooden sword and they let us pass. Colin thanks us and proudly says how he wants to be like us one day. Not swinging swords around, but having a brave heart to do the unthinkable. He runs ahead to find Ilya and shortly, we do as well. Upon catching up, we get blocked by a gate. Colin and Ilya are on the other side with Epona. Ilya, still mad at us, wants us to stay out, and if we are thinking of taking Epona, we can forget about it. Colin, knowing our situation, suggests a little tunnel from the side that we could potentially crawl from. Backtracking, we find a small tunnel hidden by a patch of grass and begin to crawl to the other side. Yay! We ended up at the forest spring. Ilya, finally understanding what Link went through that day, apologizes for what she did. He goes to hug Epona for forgiveness but gets shrugged off because Epona's not happy being taken away again without its master. Ilya acknowledges Epona's decision and lets go. Her shoulders rest easy and tells us softly that Epona's injury isn't that bad, so we can go. But we need to promise her something. He turns to us with a soft smile and says, "Just come back home safely." I would do that in a female voice, but you're not gonna get that out of me. With a surprised look across our face, we nod yes. Then all of a sudden, a warbear crashes through the gate with 2 bokoblins on its back. Luckily, we managed to dodge out the way, but then they fixed their arrows on both Collins and Ilya, knocking them unconscious. Standing in shock, we are stunned by a swing to the back of the head by a wooden bat. Ilya's and Collins' unconscious bodies are taken on the boars, and the big boblin named King Boblin blows his horn, calling in a portal in the sky. After, King Boblin and his men head out, leaving only us behind. A few minutes or even hours go by, and we regain consciousness. Dazed and startled by events, we focus and realize Ilya and Collins have been taken. Dashing across the bridge, we are faced with a huge wall, colored in black with lines of gold, making unknown marking. We are shocked by this random wall appearing out of nowhere, but in that instant, a hand reaches out and grabs us. Where is it taking us? Are we going to be able to save Ilya and Collins? Are we dead?
Thank you for your love. Thank you for the heart. There'll never be a long and lonely night again. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the heart. Girl, please don't ever let me be alone again.